Hey, welcome everybody to a new episode of Careers in Sight. This is hosted by the Montana Educational Talent Search Program. My name is Derek Calvert. I'm the program manager for the program. And what we try to do here is we try to focus on various different careers, highlighting different career fields, and getting to know different professionals throughout Montana to give each of you an idea what it's like working in the field, what you need to do in order to get there, and really just kind of giving you a better idea to help guide your path. So this week we have a special guest. His name is Matt Raffety. He is the Director of Communications, and he works or the Director of Communications for the University of Montana Western out of Dillon, Montana. So we're so grateful to have you, Matt. We definitely have a few questions for you, but I guess could you explain a little bit about your job for us before we get going?
Sure. So thanks for having me today. I'm glad to be here. So my job encompasses a lot of different areas for anything basically internal and external communication. So our website, social media, communicating to our faculty, staff, and students. I'm a member of the Chancellor's Cabinet, so work closely with the administration, and we've also got some great students that work for us. We participate in work-study programs, which give students a chance to make money while they get experience working at the university. So we've got a couple of students that help us with writing stories for the website, posting to social media, making fun graphics. And then we also do all of the print materials for our admissions office. So we have a great graphic designer and a writer on our team that help me with creating dynamic materials to get students excited to come to Montana Western. We are unique because we have the block schedule at Montana Western. We're the only public four-year university in the whole country that does this. So students take one course at a time instead of the traditional model where they'll have multiple classes per semester. Our students take a class for 18 days, then they basically have a long weekend and kind of recharge and then have another block. So there's 4 blocks in a semester and 8 blocks in a year, and we're really big on having students learn by doing. We call it experiential learning here at Montana Western. So we do a lot of research, going out in the field, out to the mountains, to the rivers, but we offer all sorts of different majors from 10 academic departments. So we have art and psychology and history and natural horsemanship, which is a program that only we have in the whole country. And then we have scientific glass and artistic glass. So we have a glass blowing studio and do a lot of really unique work there. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in Dillon. It's a small town, but it's a great place to go to college. The faculty really get to know the students. The classes are small. And so, yeah, just excited to tell you more about it today.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like part of your job is kind of marketing the college a little bit. Talking about what's going on, making sure that everybody is up to date. Communicating about what's going on.
Right.
So that's awesome. And I forgot to address the viewers who are watching right now. I just wanted to mention if you have any questions, especially as we're going on, just at any point, whether it's I'm talking or Matt's talking, make sure that you put down a question, like the stream, like the video. We are a little bit behind, so it might be about 20-30 seconds before we actually see your question. But once we do, we'll make sure to address it as soon as we can. So with that in mind, Matt, so many people just have this question, especially as they're going about their career path, not really sure, know what to do. What helped you decide that this career field was for you?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I'm actually a first generation college student, and I was always really interested in art, and then I was really interested into animation and making movies, and I really wanted to learn more about that. So I went to the University of Montana in Missoula, and my degrees are in media arts. So I have a bachelor's and a master's degree, and so I was doing a lot of just storytelling in various ways. So whether it was from filming or making animations, always kind of, if it was, creative or telling an actual story of something that inspired me or someone. So I really like that. And so I don't have, like a traditional communications degree, but I always really liked sharing stories, and I loved writing. And I think that's where it really kind of took off for me. And then I worked at U of M there for a center in the public health area, the Center for Environmental Health Sciences. And we did some grant-funded projects. I learned about grant writing, and we did projects that taught middle school students about environmental health, and did some mobile apps and some games. And it was just really exciting. And then I'm actually from Dillon originally, and my wife and I had the chance to move back to Dillon, and this opportunity opened up. And then my wife's a music teacher; she's the band director at our high school. So those jobs came open, and we were lucky enough to get to move back to the hometown and bring a lot of the great experiences back with us. And that's, yeah. So I would say pursuing what you're most passionate about is the most important thing you could do. Because you may end up just finding your dream job, but you didn't expect it, and it wasn't a direct path. But if you choose something that you love to do, and especially if you can write and you like to write and practice writing and get really good at it, you can work in almost any field. It's a really valuable skill. So for social media or grant writing, or writing stories for the newspaper, blogs, magazines, so you really can't go wrong with getting really good at writing. And it's really fun because you get to meet a lot of people. I get to conduct interviews with our amazing students here that come from all over Montana, across the country. Even met a few celebrities. I got to meet Glenn Close a few years ago. She came to a seminar we had on our campus, and I was really nervous. It was really exciting. So you just, it's amazing where kind of following your passion can take you.
Yeah, no, that's great advice. And I know that so many people start off, getting a certain major, getting a certain degree, and they find themselves, into either it's a different career path or a similar career path, but really being able to follow that passion, follow what you want to do, I think is super great, great advice there. And so you mentioned that there's quite a bit of writing, and that if you're pretty good at writing, and getting good at writing can even be helpful for this career field. Am I wrong to assume, I guess, that there's just a lot of it is being able to form sentences, putting together all these words, being able to communicate properly in this career field. Is that a helpful skill to have?
Yeah, definitely. And I would say I was really interested in creative writing, and which, now in my job, it's more about, reporting the facts and sharing what's going on at the university. So, but really, any kind of writing, yeah, so that is really important. So if you're interested in that, but it doesn't, you could like writing stories or poetry. I think the other piece is this job requires a high level of organization. So it's really about the details in the writing, and then how you're sharing things with the public and the students. And so being really organized, and obviously that helps in college immensely. The more organized you are, the better things are, going to go. Your classes will go great for you. So Those are, really valuable skills. And then I think just being a good listener. It's in any field, the more listening that you can do, the better, and the more we can learn from each other.
Excellent. So we do have a comment from a viewer here, kind of going along these.
Great.
Aside from Jeannie. I'll just pull that up on the screen. And it says, what type of internships or activities should high school students look at if interested in going into this communication field?
So I think one of the things that I did in high school was speech and drama. So we had a pretty big team then. And that's just really good because, the more you can present in public, give presentations, give demonstrations. I was in 4-H, we did a lot of demonstrations and just communicating. So there's a lot of different groups that might be in your area, clubs to join, groups at school. You may also see if the local newspapers are looking for interns or, just some help with editing or writing. Those would be really good places to look into. And then I think, if you like to communicate and make movies, you can't go wrong with, seeing, schools now have, video production, podcasts, anything like that that's kind of creative, that's really interesting. If you can find some other folks and kind of get together and do something for fun or something for, that supports the community, an event, raising money for something that you believe in. So I think those are really good avenues to check out for sure.
Yeah, that sounds really great. Well, moving on to some other questions that we have. Matt, what is one of the most enjoyable parts of your job?
Yeah, I think working with our team here. So like I said, we've got a wonderful graphic designer named Claire, and she's a really talented artist. And so people interested in art out there, looking at graphic design is a huge, it's so important. It's needed everywhere for everything. So if you're interested in making art and also, making flyers, posters, graphics for websites, layouts for mobile apps, that is a huge area that you can go into, and it kind of blends artistic, because you definitely need a lot of creativity for that. And then it blends it with the communications piece, which is then using that to support and deliver a message. It could be your brand or your mission for a company or a nonprofit organization. So that's always really fun, because that kind of bridges where I started with mostly creative, making animations and intros to short films and things like that. So, and then our writer on our team, Josh, helps me with, we do about 2 or 3 articles a week on average, just highlighting success stories about our students and amazing things they're doing and our faculty. And so that's really fun, is working with our team, working with faculty and interviewing people that you never really got the chance to, and learning about their careers and just about their interests. So there's something really exciting about that and sharing their stories.
Yeah, I know that's definitely one thing that myself and our team with the Montana Educational Talent Search, we really enjoy doing, is being able to share the student success stories, where a student is a first generation, doesn't have any family that's gone to college or anything, and then being able to share their story that they were able to graduate high school, get some scholarships, go to college. It's really, I know I enjoy that part of the job as well. It's always fun to be able to do that. And so, on the flip side, what would you say is the most difficult part of the job?
I think the most difficult part of any job is how to work with other people on your team. You may not agree about something, so you may not agree about the best way to approach a project, or and then how do you deal with that? And I think obviously the pandemic was really stressful, and so I think the main challenge was just remembering to kind of think about other perspectives and what you might learn from them, even if at first, you don't agree with it. So I think that can be challenging for sure. And I think that's something that we can all get better at and kind of practice every day, because there's a lot of new challenges that come with jobs like this, but any job really. So I think, again, that it goes back to, listening and actually paying attention, active listening on, well, why do you have that opinion, and what can you take away from that? So I think that's the challenge, but also the most rewarding part, because when you finally you work with your team and you work out a way to approach something, and that works for everybody, that's the best thing. It's difficult, but that's really what is the most rewarding thing too.
Yeah, that's a really good take on disagreements. I don't think anybody really likes disagreeing. Well, maybe there's some people that like disagreeing, but in my perspective, I don't like having those disagreements, having those weird feelings, but being able to get past those, those feelings, the disagreement, to come to, maybe it's find some middle ground or something. Being able to do that is very, very rewarding. So I know that you've given us some advice already, quite a bit of advice. I guess, do you have anything specific when it comes to, if you're talking to a high schooler and they're like, wow, this sounds like such an awesome career field. What's some advice that you would have for me?
Well, another reason to practice writing, when you're applying for scholarships for college, which are so important, and there's a lot of them out there, if having other people read your writing is super helpful, to kind of give feedback. And it's really important to have as many scholarships as you can get, because it decreases what you have to come up with to pay for college. And there's obviously a lot of loan options, but I would just say, focusing on scholarships and grants, the things that, you don't have to pay back later, that's something that will help you as you start your first career. Just being mindful of, if you're taking student loans, kind of how they're building up and what that's going to kind of look like, kind of planning ahead for, paying them back once you complete your college degree. So I would say that's something that's really important to kind of think about that. So, and again, that kind of goes with the organizational thing too. And, a lot of people, don't be afraid to ask for help, ask for advice, talk to the school counselors, talk to your teachers, people you get along with, parents of your friends, whoever you kind of resonate with, because everyone will have something valuable that you can apply to what you're wanting to do.
Yeah, that's great. And in all honesty, that goes for, this career path. It goes for really every single one of you who's watching this, and trying to figure out what career they want to go down. Some great advice there. So if you have any further questions, please put them down, comment below. We'll be able to see them, and if you weren't able to ask the question right now, if you're watching this later after it's gone live, and you still have some more questions, feel free to comment. We'll be able to answer them as good as possible. And if we can't answer them, I'll contact Matt and make sure to get his answer for you.
Absolutely, yeah, happy to help.
Well, not seeing any extra comments, so just want to say thank you, Matt, for joining us today. It was a pleasure, and we'll definitely let you know if we have any questions.
Sounds great. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. We'll see you guys later.